The NFL draft week is officially upon us and the Arizona Cardinals are almost on the clock. But we just got some news that could potentially affect the Arizona Cardinals trading back with a certain team. Let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack up that like button and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. All on this channel, we cover everything Arizona Cardinals news, breaking news, rumors, conversational pieces, everything. So if you're a fan of the Arizona Cardinals, definitely subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. But let's go ahead and get started here. Let's talk about everything that you need to know heading into the 2024 NFL draft. And we got something here from Adam Schefter of ESPN pertaining to, should the Arizona Cardinals trade back, or are we going to see a trade back from the Cardinals? And right now, with what we're hearing from Adam Schefter, it almost kind of seems like basically everything that I've been talking about here, right? That the Arizona Cardinals are open for business, but as of right now, don't expect anything to be done until the Arizona Cardinals are on the clock here, right? Now, we did hear something pertaining to the teams that are going to be potential trade back options for the Cardinals, and the same four teams are the same four teams that I ended up bringing out, right? The Giants, the Vikings, the Broncos, and the Raiders. So definitely no surprise there. But let's go ahead and dive right into the tampering allegations from the Atlanta Falcons, and this is what Adam Schefter says. Resolution expected soon for tampering charges. The NFL's investigation into an alleged tampering charges against the Atlanta Falcons for their involvement with then free agent quarterback Kirk Cousins and the Eagles for their involvement with then free agent running back Saquon Barkley is ongoing and could reach a conclusion as soon as this week per sources. Sources believe that discipline, which is likely to involve draft picks, is expected to be more severe for the Falcons. Here are two examples of tampering discipline from the NFL. Now, the Arizona Cardinal fans are very, very familiar with the whole tampering situation. We ended up getting knocked, I believe it was a third-round pick last year from the whole tampering with Jonathan Gannon, a former defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. So now this story has really kind of came in and really took a turn for the worse for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, we did actually originally hear this potential story from Mike Florio here, so definitely shout out to him. But now that it's actually getting the tires getting kicked up, these are some potential things that can happen to the Atlanta Falcons, and then we're going to talk about how does this affect the Arizona Cardinals, right? So these are some potential things that we've seen already happen. The Dolphins forfeited their 2023 first round pick and their 2024 third round selection for tampering with Tom Brady and Sean Payton on 3 occasions from 2019 to 2022. Team owner Stephen Ross and vice chairman / limited partner Bruce Beal were fined. Ross was fined $1.5 million while Beal was fined $500,000. Now here's another example. The Chiefs forfeited their 2016 third round pick and 2017 sixth round selection for tampering with Jeremy Maclin in 2015. The Chiefs were also fined $250,000. Coach Andy Reid was fined $75,000 and general manager John Dorsey was fined $25,000. So now we're kind of getting a grasp of what could potentially happen to the Atlanta Falcons. Now, if you're asking yourself, what does this have to do with the Arizona Cardinals? Well, it kind of does have something to do with the Arizona Cardinals because for a couple different reasons, right? The Atlanta Falcons is picking right now, I believe, at 8th overall, and then we got the idea that the Minnesota Vikings choosing at the 11th overall pick here in the NFL draft is the big favorited team for the Cardinals to trade back with, right? Because they got 2 first round picks. The Arizona Cardinals and the Vikings have been very, very linked, very heavy for a potential trade back option, and the Vikings are very, very favorited in that. So, like I said earlier, we originally heard the story from Mike Florio, but we didn't hear the wheels start churning until right now this week. But he actually pitched the idea of maybe the fact that we can have the Vikings and the Atlanta Falcons actually swap their first round picks. Now, I feel like that's being a little too nice to the Atlanta Falcons personally, but if that is the case, and then they lose another, round pick in the later parts, whether it's a third round, second round, fourth round, what I'm really trying to focus on is the idea if they do swap picks, and that's going to be the Minnesota Vikings with the Atlanta Falcons, then that's going to have the Minnesota Vikings at the 8th overall selection, and the Atlanta Falcons going over to the number 11th overall pick. So that is going to have more momentum and more, I guess, juice for the Minnesota Vikings to potentially trade up to 4, 3, or anything like that, right? Whoever is going to be available to trade back, right? So if they do get that 8th overall selection, I don't think 3 first round picks is truly attainable here, right? Because we don't actually have to go outside the top 10, but it's really intriguing for the Arizona Cardinals to potentially go to 8 and then still get 23, and then maybe another pick in the later parts of the draft as well, just kind of really depending on exactly what Monty Ossenfort and the general manager of the Minnesota Vikings negotiate with. And if we do go to 8, then there's still a real possibility that the Cardinals can maybe land a Roma Dunze. Now, like I said a little earlier, doing a swap like that will still kind of let the Atlanta Falcons off a little too easy, in my personal opinion. They might actually probably lose their first round pick, which is still kind of, interesting on its own, because there is still some implications about that. The Atlanta Falcons is very favored to potentially land a Turner edge out of Alabama. Now, if something like that happens, you could potentially see a drop going outside the top 10, just kind of really depending on who really values him as an edge. I think he is seen as the best edge rusher, so he probably won't fall too far behind, but there is some rumors out there about the Arizona Cardinals potentially trading up that 27th overall selection to potentially land themselves an edge of the future or a cornerback of the future. So right now there is a lot of implications, there's a lot of storylines, there's a lot of things to really look at here for the Arizona Cardinal fans, and you got to make sure you keep your eyes on exactly what happens to the Atlanta Falcons if they lose a draft pick or if they do a swap with the Minnesota Vikings. But as of right now, there is going to be some sort of repercussions to the Atlanta Falcons, but we probably won't get that until draft day. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know here in the comments below, what do you feel like the Atlanta Falcons tampering penalty should be? Let me know here in the comments below. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day and go Cards.